Welcome back to part 2 of the Traxxas T-maxx transmission repair. You guys can see part 1. I did that last night. I was able to get the parts that I needed today from the hardware or the hobby shop, excuse me, over by my job. The part that I needed was the 5394X, which is actually the forward-only conversion install kit for the Traxxas Revo. It has everything that I need. The Revo and the T-maxx are very similar as far as their transmission and the way that they're kind of set up that way is concerned. So this conversion kit here, obviously, it goes through, everything on how to take the gears out and how to put them back in, which I really don't care about because that's not what I'm doing. But what I do care about are these three pieces right here. This is the C-clip that I could probably use the old one, but it came with everything that I need, so I'll just go ahead and use that. And this right here, this was the pin that snapped into three pieces that we seen yesterday, and this here. You seen yesterday that in this piece here, there was that pin stuck in there. And then there was, the other piece of the pin that I was able to take out that was still in the shaft. So I'll be replacing those three pieces there. The other pieces, this is the primary, shaft there. I mean, just some spare parts. But these three here will be my replacement parts. Now, I did also want to kind of go over what was going on that made me need to replace these. And basically, we were out bashing the T-maxx, and all of a sudden it just lost power. The engine was still running, but there was no movement. There was no movement in the truck. So, long story short, after investigating it and everything, I took it to a local hobby shop, FST, as I said yesterday, and tore the transmission apart again, and found that this pin right here actually snapped into three pieces. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this fixed here, and welcome back. As you guys can see, I went ahead and replaced the part and actually put the transmission back on the truck here. I reassembled everything. I haven't yet tested it. I am currently waiting for my battery to charge. I didn't realize that it was completely dead. After I got it installed, I took it outside and hit the easy start once, and it cranked over twice, and that was it. So that is currently on the charger. But in the meantime, I thought what I could do is maybe talk about a little bit about the truck. I got the truck, it's been about 3 weeks, maybe 4? Maybe, yeah, 4 tops. As you can see, I got the exhaust deflector here. There's nothing really wrong with not having it. It's just seems to be a little bit more clean, as far as the exhaust goes. I noticed that and mind you, this was during break-in and some minor tuning in the beginning, but the exhaust was very, very messy. Every time I would go out, and you can still see some residue here on the shock tower. I haven't cleaned that off yet, but this exhaust deflector does help kind of take it away from the truck a bit more, and makes it a little more easy to clean, as there's not as much exhaust. Other than that, everything is pretty much stock. I did have to replace, I believe it was this side here, I did have to replace the drive shaft, the entire assembly. when I was out bashing it, I did break it. I broke it off right there at the at the linkage. You know, where it actually, let's see if I can get an angle on it. Right there, where it actually goes into the differential, I snapped it. So that was a pretty easy fix. I had to fix that, and then I also fixed the transmission. That was my second repair, which, like I said in my previous video, I didn't want to go into too much detail at that time, but you know, I checked, you know, the Spur Gear. See if I get a better angle on that. You know, I checked the Spur Gear, you know, made sure that all of the teeth were, you know, there. I am missing one tooth right there. I do need to get this replaced as well, but still, that would not have kept it from moving. I mean, if you know, half of that was gone, that would be an issue. But one tooth, I checked that. Like I said, that was good. I also checked the bell. It's the black part right here. You guys can see that right there. There's a bell in there. It spins. I actually took that apart. Like I said, I actually took the engine off of the truck, and I also took the transmission off of the truck the first time and looked, you know, to make sure that nothing was stripped in there, and nothing was. Also made sure that the mesh. Oh, air filter is right in the way. I made sure that the mesh between these two gears were good. You know, between the bell clutch or clutch bell, I can't remember which way it goes, and the Spur Gear. I made sure that, you know, that was good, and which it was. I read out on some forums. You know, make sure there's nothing, you know, bound up in any of the joints here. I made sure that was all good. You know, there was nothing. You can see some of the damage here, some of the aftermath of our bashing. But I made sure that, you know, nothing was jammed up in there, and nothing was. You know, like I said, that's what kind of took me back to the hobby shop, because I like to figure things out on my own. I like to, you know, go as far as I can before I, you know, get some expert help. And unfortunately, I was very, very close. I was like 90% there. I just failed to see that pin snapped off. I was more concerned about the teeth and not the pin. But other than that, everything else is stock. It's been a pretty good truck so far. I've got about a half a gallon through it. You know, I broke the engine in as close to what the factory recommends. Unfortunately, I wasn't, you know, I didn't have the full distance that I would like to have had, you know, as far as a straightaway. But I did break it in like 95% accurate, you know, as to what Traxxas suggests. But yeah, you know, it's been a pretty good truck. I know if you guys look at my first video I posted, you can see AJ out there bashing it. It's fun. AJ enjoys it. I enjoy it. I do plan on getting him probably you know, the T-maxx, the electric version of this. Just makes it a little more simple. You know, just charge a couple batteries and plug it in, and away you go. But other than that, that's it. Oh, you know what? I also did upgrade these shoes here to the. I don't know if you can see it here. I upgraded the shoes to aluminum. All three of them. When we were out bashing, AJ and I, when we were out bashing, if you know, after we were done running one night, I was assessing the truck, which I always do after I'm done, to see if anything's broken or cracked. And I had noticed that one of these shoes were missing, so just went to FST Hobby and grabbed me another set. But I upgraded to the aluminum as opposed to the stock. But I'm fairly certain that the repair today worked. As you can see, when I move it that way, it spins freely like it should. But when I spin it the other way, the truck actually moves, which it's supposed to. And that was not doing that before I fixed that piece that I fixed today. I was spinning it, this way here to make the truck move, and I could feel it slipping. It wasn't making the full rotation, which makes sense because the pin was snapped. So I'm fairly certain that will definitely fix, or has fixed, my issue. I just got to get my my starter battery all charged up, and we'll be good to go. So hopefully the next video will be a little more exciting, a little more entertaining, and we'll be outside. Hopefully H will be with me, and we will be bashing this thing again. It's been, like I said, it's been a lot of fun so far. And like I said, I do plan on getting him one probably in the spring when it warms up a little bit. Plan on getting him an T-maxx, like I said, but pretty much just for the simplicity of it. Instead of having to break in the engine and tune it every now and again, or if the weather gets hot or cold, or any fluctuations there, you can just simply just plug 2 batteries in, and away you go. So, alright, thanks for watching.